As Kraven's mad hunt begins to come to a close, who will live, who will die, who will tell their stories? Well, let's hop into the pages of The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 22 and find out, shall we? Alrighty then, so picking up from where the last issue left off, our hero is still sadly trapped inside the Central Park Zoo. In the previous issue, Peter had freed Curt Connors the Lizard from his inhibitor chip in hope that he could save Black Cat and his son Billy, but now Peter is starting to have second thoughts, like maybe that wasn't the best idea. You know, like when you drink milk on a hot day, it might have been a poor decision. These fears might actually be founded too, as Kraven the Hunter finally, after multiple issues of inactivity, decides to take the field and willingly releases Spider-Man so they can have their big showdown. You see, to get out of the building and get to Kraven, Spider-Man has to step over a body of mutilated mercenaries where seemingly the Lizard was the one responsible. Kraven, as all supervillains do, takes this opportunity to monologue at our hero, saying that this has all been building up to this one great moment. In one fell swoop, Kraven was able to entrap the hunters whom he hated so much for disrespecting the hunt, and the villains who disrespected prey by dressing in the skins of animals they did not conquer. Yet despite all of this planning and money spent, Kraven says he's willing to put a stop to all of this, let the hunters and the supervillains go on the single condition that Spider-Man end his life. In fact, much as I said in the previous issue, that's what the whole test with the Lizard was, to see if Spider-Man is willing to compromise his ironclad hero code. Now, this isn't the first time Spider-Man has been tempted with such a proposition, and indeed it is true, many of his worst villains always seem to return to darken his doorstep more dangerous than before, and here and now, Peter's thinking of a lot of lives right now outside just his own. There's the innocents like Black Cat and Billy who have gotten drawn into all of this, as well as the uninnocent like the trophy hunters and the supervillains. But the life he's thinking the most about is actually poor Mary Jane. You'll recall earlier on in this event when Peter got drugged, he saw a bunch of visions of her possibly dying in the not too distant future. So time is definitely of the essence, and Peter just can't let Kraven win and get what he wants, and maybe he doesn't have to, because when he looks at the mercenaries' bodies a little closer, he sees that the Lizard didn't actually kill them. They were killed by knife wounds. Kraven once again rigging the game so he comes out on top. And so Spider-Man decides to do something rather unexpected. He decides to actually turn Kraven's survival of the fittest, hunters and prey mentality against him, prove to him that it's wrong. And he does this by putting all the faith in the world in his friends. He has faith that Black Cat will hold out against Kraven's cloned son long enough for the Lizard, who is still very much a good guy, to show up and make the save. Oh, why Kirk's so happy he's even got a silly little dinosaur smile on his face. What's not to love? You'd think this would drive Kraven nuts, right? And he would flip the table now that he's losing, but he doesn't. This actually hits him in a completely unexpected way. He knows he's lost, and he knows that Spider-Man has once again proven himself to be the superior hunter, the apex spider. And that maybe instead of constantly trying to kill Spider-Man, he should actually take a page out of his book. Kraven lets everyone trapped in the park go, including the supervillains, who Vulture absolutely takes credit for saving, before eventually bidding Spider-Man a good night and heading off on his own. Peter isn't sure he should let him go, as everything that's happened this night reminds him incredibly of what went down in the original Kraven's last hunt, which indeed ended with Kraven killing himself, but Kraven says he's not gonna do that this time. What actually happens is far more clever and far more interesting than I think a lot of people are going to give it credit for. You see, Kraven continues to monologue about how much he's learned from Spider-Man. How having friends, having a family, having a pride essentially are what truly make him powerful, and that perhaps Kraven doesn't need Spider-Man to end his curse, at least not the way he originally thought. From there, we see Kraven Jr. actually track down Spider-Man and begin to finish what he started, beating him to death, only that's not Peter in the costume, that's actually Kraven. Kraven, once again, like he did in Last Hunt, decided to dress up like Spider-Man, saying that it was the final leg of breaking his curse, inheriting Spider-Man's power, becoming him mind, body, and soul. Only by showing mercy to everyone the way he did was he finally allowed to break his curse and die. So, in the weirdest way possible, as the comic ends, Kraven wins. He gets exactly what he wanted. His plan worked. And so that was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 22, everyone, the grand conclusion to Hunted, and what a weird roller coaster ride of a storyline this has been. Again, I really hold true to the fact that Spider-Man was kind of a backseat player in this storyline. When we break it all down, this was all about Kraven from start to finish. The whole theme of fathers and sons as reflected by the Lizard, that was really all there for Kraven, not Spider-Man. Then again, I guess if you called this series Kraven's Hunted, it wouldn't sell as good. It's also not every day in a superhero story you get a writer who finds a way for the villain to organically actually get a victory over the hero and have it, you know, feel like it made sense and felt good. We also have the creation of basically a new villain in Kraven Jr. who is going to be even more resolute in trying to get Spider-Man now that he is avenging the death of his father. Ultimately, for the rocky road that was getting there, I think this story does stick the landing. It's not my favorite Spider-Man Kraven story, but hey, it's up there now. Overall, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you really like what I do, you might want to pick up a Cape Joel shirt. Yes, that's right, I have my own merch store over at TeePublic. Check out for great designs like my little Cape Man, stuff from the comic multiverse, fun stickers, in-jokes, we got it all over at the TeePublic store. You can check it out right now, and I will be sure to see you all again next time. Bye-bye.